Hi everyone, Scott Lawrence here. Just want to show you something that I threw together over the past day. I had this idea yesterday and kind of just hacked something together to see if the idea has merit, and it seems pretty good. So I was listening to the Eaten by Gru podcast on the heels of all of the Kansasfest stuff that was going on. If you don't know what Kansasfest is and you're into retro computers, you should look it up because it's probably something that you wish you had been going to for the past 15 years. But anyway, so there's this Eaten by Gru podcast by Kevin Savitz and Carrington, whatever. So yeah, if you go to monsterfeet.com, you can check this out. It's all about interactive fiction. I just started listening to the podcast, and it's a really great discussion of the old games and them being playing them and being critical of them and stuff. So I was listening to it, and I actually have the no, this is the right one. So this episode was up, which was a talk from Kansasfest about this Adventures in Videoland, which is basically the game Rollercoaster. So what it basically is it's a text adventure for the Apple II that you typed in BASIC. You hook up through your serial port a laserdisc player, and it would seek around and play clips of the movie while you play the game. And I was like, oh, that's really cool, because I had some laserdisc players that had the serial port in the back, and being that I worked on some arcade machines, I know that those are out there and that there's replacements for the drives, whatever. We can go down a whole rabbit hole there, which I'm not going to do. Anyway, so so I was listening to that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. And I was listening to the whole talk about it and resurrecting and typing in the whole game, which is all on GitHub. Really fascinating talk, and just really neat to hear about something from that long ago that had such a niche market. Not everybody that had the magazine that this came out of would even have seen a Laserdisc player, let alone have one with a serial port. Although it could be that at the time there were a lot of Apple IIs and Laserdisc controlled computer controlled Laserdisc players in like educational places like colleges and stuff. So it makes sense that someone at a college would find that, type it in, buy the Rollercoaster Laserdisc, and then play the game. Anyway, so I moved on to a couple other episodes, including the one about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I kind of skipped around because I'm just getting into the podcast. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll listen to this one, and then I'll start with the first episode, which of course is based on Zork, which I've yet to play, but that's a story for another day. So yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which over the years I loved the TV show, the radio series, the movie, all of the books that were written by Douglas Adams. It's just a great universe, really fun sci-fi. And something clicked in my brain, and I was thinking, wait, we have this Infocom game, and you type in stuff, but I have the TV series, and I have the DVDs, and yeah, here's the video game itself, by Douglas Adams and Steve Maretsky. And I played it years ago back on my Amiga. I was like, wait a minute, if we got the DVD together with the text, the text, yeah, come on, why aren't you working? What is going on here? There we go. With the text interpreter, which I grabbed from online, I grabbed Frotz, and I grabbed the data files. So yeah, I was like, okay, I can play the game, and then I can use VLC Media Player to play the video. If I had some way to connect the two, that could be kind of neat. And then I got thinking that when the text thing is running, it's just sending out text. And then there's programs on Unix, or at least on my Mac, that will take the text and pipe it through to other things. So I was like, okay, well, if I play the game and pipe the output to T, because I remember that T will take the output and spit it out so you can see it, but also save it to a file. But if I could output that to something else that's also watching all of the text, maybe I could do something with that. So I did something with that. I decided to use, I had this whole idea for a whole like stack of programs that would do, and I'm like, you know what if I just had the game, the client running, and it just connected via netcat, which I had to grab for my Mac to do this, but it runs and it pipes all of the output through netcat to port 8888 on the client side, and then there's a server that's also running, which I'll show you in a moment, where I have a listener on port 8888, and I output it through my player. Please don't make fun of me for using Perl. And then I take the output of that and pipe it into VLC. So how does that work? How do you pipe text into VLC? Well, here, let me show you. If I run this, you'll see the video is playing here. But also, I have commands here, so I can pause. I can seek to 300 seconds in. See, there we are, Beetlejuice, or Betelgeuse, however you want to pronounce it. There's Arthur Dent. And if you notice, I mean, I can frame through here. A couple of these are going to be identical. I can get the current time. See, I'm 100 frames in. I can, or not 100 frames, 100 seconds in. So I can seek to track 0. I can play. I can pause. I can even make it full screen if I want to, but I'm not going to do that because then it gets hard to type because I can't see it. So what I did was, you know, when you're playing the game, it's spitting out all this text. So I made this quick little program in Perl here, which I'll put up on GitHub. There'll be a link in the video description about this. And I ended up making my own little language for it. So I have these colons or labels, so startup. When this actually runs, where is it? I wrote this all yesterday really quickly. Okay, so when it starts up, it calls the startup routine, does all of the commands until it's exhausted, and then it reads in from the input, which is from netcat, so it's the output from the video game. Although I could pipe the game through that too, but then that gets really complicated. I accumulate every character that comes in, and this is left over from something else, so ignore that. So I basically accumulate things until I get a new line, and then I call this got line, and then the got line thing trims off some extra white space, which you don't want. And then if you're debugging, it prints out something, and then it calls this do scan for line, and then do until done. If you notice, it did the do until done before. So do scan for line is scan for line. So what this does is it goes through each of these lines, looks for these question mark things, which is a match this string. So like here, it matches if the string has peril sensitive sunglasses. It does a seek to track to 91 seconds in, and then go to dark. Again, don't make fun of me for using go-tos, because I wrote this in like 3 hours. So go to dark. Dark is this label up here, does a seek to 0, and then done, which means that do until done will return. So then it'll be ready for the next string that comes in, so on. So like when it can read in this phrase here, whoops. You exclaim, but that man wants to knock my house, blah, 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 blah. So I do a seek to frame, to 383 seconds in and done. So yeah, this could be better because it's not doing a frame-based thing. It's doing it by seconds, but you know, that's the tool that I had. And also I had to put in a couple of hacks in here because seek was starting to play things, and the pause command is actually a pause toggle, while play is a play command for VLC. So if I do this, if I do a seek to 900, but I want it to be paused, so you'd think I would type pause, right? Or I'd send that command, but no. It doesn't. So what I do to make sure that if you're playing and then you seek to like 20 seconds in, to make sure that it pauses, if I do the frame command, which is a single step frame, then it pauses no matter what. So if you notice my handler here for the programming process 1 opcode. So if I got it done, then it's done, and change the program counter to -1. Go to, it does this go to command, which finds the label and sets the new program counter. Seek, it does a frames to make sure it's paused, and then does the seek. But it also remembers the last seek because I have this command until. Now, in an optimal system, until will look at the frame counter or the time code and go, okay, I'm playing this until 34 seconds in. But I don't really have that. There's ways that I could do it, but again, this was a 3-hour hack, so screw it. So until looks at the last seek time and then just sleeps for a few seconds. So if we look at the over here, I'm sure there's one until in the startup. So here, adds a video to the playlist and switches to it in VLC. So startup goes to show intro, so the interpreter will go to here. It adds this video, which is episode 2, seek to 0, and play. And it'll play until 34 seconds in. So it'll sit here waiting until that, and then it'll pause it. It'll go to episode 1, and then continue here, add to the playlist, and play episode 1, seek 0. Do that until 1 second. I'm not sure why I have that in there. I think it was just to add a delay because I was seeing some weird bugs. Pause a frame, go to dark, which is a seek 0, which seeks and makes sure it's paused, and then done. So you can see that it's basically just a quick little language to deal with all of this. So yeah, let's get into the whole thing. So this is probably what you came here for, and what 95% of you will probably have just skipped over to. Here are the video files, which are just rips right from the DVD, although you could get those wherever. And then it's using the DOS version of the DAT file, which, as far as I know, is the same as every other version. Okay, so I just wrapped it in a make file, not because I needed the functionality of make, but just because it would be easy. So if I do make server, VLC is going to start up, and here it goes. It starts, and it does that playing of the track. If you notice, it's counting here. And then, oops. Let me restart this. Again, like I said, it was a quick hack, so some things aren't working quite right. Okay, that worked. It switched to the black. Okay, turn on light. Okay, so turned on the light. So you can see there's a bunch of things to work out, and this is not the optimal way to do this. The best way would be one executable that has the interpreter and the video player all built in together, but I don't have that. So here, okay, faded carpet, old wallpaper. Right now I just have it playing. You could have it play video, but I was finding that the dialogue in the video was interfering with trying to understand what was going on with the text, so I'm just doing paused frames for a lot of it. So I'll get, no, I have to stand. So yeah, the beginning here, I also went through and tried to grab frames, but I typed in some of them wrong, so you get what you get. Room is still spinning, dips and sways a little. Okay, so get gown, don gown, look in pocket, Get buffered analgesic. Headache goes. Okay. Get all. Okay. Go out and get the mail because that's important later. Go out. Here, home. You enter your house to the north. Path leads around. Blah 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 blah. Prosser from the local council standing on the other side of the bulldozer. Bulldozer rumbles slowly toward your home. What should I do? I'm gonna lie down. You lie down in the path of the advancing bulldozer. Prosser yells at you, for Christ's sake, move! No. I'm gonna wait. Bulldozer thunders towards you. The ground is shaking beneath you as you lie in the mud. The path of the game and of the TV series are a little different, so I just kind of did my best here with, at late last night. Okay, so I'll wait again. Can't even hear a Prosser yelling you that you'll be killed if you don't get out of the way. Well, you know what, I'm going to wait anyway. Moments later, your friend Ford Prefect arrives. He hardly seems to notice your predicament, but keeps glancing over at the sky. He says, "Hello, Arthur," which is exactly what that frame on the left is from. He takes a towel from his battered leather satchel and offers it to you. Well, I think we all know what happens if I take that towel right now. I mean, towels are very important, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to wait. He offers you your towel again. I'm still going to wait. So I originally had this where it was reading in from the location, but that was that was unreliable, because if the word front of house was somewhere in here, then it was getting messed up, and I'm basically screen scraping the game to get all of the stuff out of it. So yeah, they seem deeply engrossed in conversation. Okay, I'm going to wait some more. Ford and Prosser stop talking and approach you. Ford says that Prosser has agreed to lie in your place so the two of you can go off to the pub. Prosser steps forward and lies down in the buzzer. You stand up. I'm going to wait again. Ford, urging you to follow, hurries toward the country lane. Follow Ford. Yeah. Come along, Arthur. Boop. They enter the pub. Okay. Follow Ford. Ford buys a lot of beer and offers half to you. Muscle relaxing. I don't know what is going on over there. That's playing the wrong frame, but that's okay. I'm going to drink beer. It's a very good beer. You begin to relax yourself when Ford mentioned that he's from a small planet in the vicinity of Betelgeuse. Now for Guilford, after all, you say, which part? Drink beer. Ford mentions that the world is going to end in about 12 minutes. I should drink some more beer. This distant crash, which Ford explains is nothing to worry about, probably just your house being knocked down. That bugs me. I'm going to go out. You see the huge bulldozer that come on, why isn't this catching up? It's supposed to seek forward to about... somewhere over here. Somewhere about there. Okay. Small dog runs up to you, yapping. I know that's important later. North. Local cancels. He seems to be wearing a digital watch. Look at watch. You see nothing special about the digital watch? Well, yeah, that's the nature of digital watches. I'm just gonna look. There's a huge pile of rubble to the north. The pad leads around to the northeast. Ford Prefect is here. And all the terminal, you drop your thing your aunt gave you. Oh yeah, with a noise like a cross between Led Zeppelin's Fairwater concert and the eruption of Krakatoa, blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm gonna look again. Ford, he drops a black device. Oh, get device. Through the blinding rain seen flickering on a small device. Press button. Which button do you mean, the green button or the red button? Green. You are in dark. Again, this was supposed to skip forward to the dark, but... Look. Yeah, okay, but, I mean, you can see. So you can see there's it's a little confused, but it has merit, I suppose. So I guess this shows that, I mean, you can, without a Laserdisc player and all of that fancy stuff, you can do a lot of that similar sort of thing these days by just using some tools that are out there that don't cost anything. Well, I mean, obviously I have the Hitchhiker's Guide game for my Amiga downstairs in the basement somewhere. But yeah, so that's it. I don't have a name for this project, although I'm sure that I'll have to think of one to get this onto GitHub. Yeah, it's more of a proof of concept than anything, and I think I've proven that the concept exists. So have a good day, everyone. Enjoy playing games and experimenting and hacking and stuff. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.